guys, what an absolutely fucking cracking fight. Absolutely fucking cracking fight. From start to finish. That is, I know it's only January, it's a bit early to say really, but that'll be fight of the year. Something really special is going to happen over the next 11 months to beat that as fight of the year. From start to finish, that was just non-stop action. You know, that in 20 years time, they're going to be talking about that fight, I guarantee it. Wow. I'm still getting over it now. I've watched it twice. I watched it live, and I've just watched it now again. Fucking hell. What a fight. I mean, obviously, as we all thought, most of us thought, Beterbiev. I'm never sure how you say his name properly. Beterbiev. Either way, I've heard it said both ways, and both ways it sounds wrong. So, Beterbiev, though, I mean, we all knew he'd win. We'd get him in the end. He'd get him in the end. But like I said last week, Yarde gave him some problems. He gave him some problems here. First couple of rounds, Artur was struggling with Yarde's movement, and Yarde was catching him with some left hooks, and he was fighting fire with fire for most of the fight. And he stunned him a couple of times, and Beterbiev was backed into a corner a couple of times. I mean, he fought his way out of the corners. He was trapped in the corners for long. He wasn't backing up for long periods of the fight. He wasn't in trouble, I wouldn't say. I mean, he was caught a few times, and he was hurt a few times. But it was his. Again, it's the punch power and the accuracy. Like I said, Beterbiev doesn't waste punches, and he's very accurate, and of course he fucking hits hard. Oh, excuse me. After those first two rounds, because I thought, oh, this is interesting. But Beterbiev, he did what he hammered. He was hammering back, and they were trading throughout that whole fight, and I was very, very impressed with Yarde. It's just a shame Yarde, in another era, perhaps, of the light heavyweight division, he would be a champion. But it's just unfortunate he's around when guys like Beterbiev and Bivol are the top two giants at the top of the hill. I don't really know where Yarde goes from here, really, because he can't go back to British level after that. He's proved that he belongs at world level. But that fight, I think that fight showed me anyway, people may disagree, of course, everyone's entitled to their opinion, that he's going to have his A game if he ever fights Bivol, because it doesn't look like it's going to happen this year, because Bivol's, I think he wants to fight somebody else, I forget, Buatsi, I believe, and of course Beterbiev, his mandatory is now Callum Smith, which could be quite interesting. I think Beterbiev wins again, but it'd be quite interesting. And obviously, the Canelo rematch is hanging around for Bivol, so that'll probably happen. So it probably won't happen this year. I mean, that's the fight we all want: is Bivol and Beterbiev, whatever, undisputed. So yeah, that'll probably be a year or so away. But on that performance last night, from Beterbiev, I think Bivol would win purely because of his movement. I mean, you go on just recent performances, look at Bivol's two fights last year with Canelo and, of course, Zurdo Ramirez, and he just hand speed, movement, defence, accuracy, again, punches and bunches, couldn't miss, just fantastic. Now, if he fights like that, and he's got to be switched on for Beterbiev, he'd win 100%. But there is always the punch power of Beterbiev, because he's a fucking animal. He's a monster. I mean, he's only had 19 pro fights, all by knockout. So it's. If you put a gun to my head now and said, right, who would win between those two? I don't know. Again, because it's the accuracy and the punch power of Beterbiev against the speed, the combinations, the movement of Bivol. But that was a fantastic fight. I've seen a lot of people online saying, "Oh, the stoppage was premature. You know, referee should let it go on." Look, when he was put down in the 8th, Yarde, and he got up, he looked to his corner, and you could almost see he looked defeated. He looked done in. To put it crudely, he looked fucked. I mean, he carried on and he took a few more punches, and Yarde's trainer Tunde pulled him out. I didn't have a problem with the stoppage. You could see as soon as he went down and he got up, he was looking. To me anyway, his body language looked like he was looking for help. Yeah, I've had enough now. But what a brave performance! What a fantastic performance by both men. I mean, it was a fantastic fight. They just, it was ebbing and flowing. 1 minute you think, oh, Yarde's taken over here, and then seconds later, Beterbiev would smash him back with, hard right uppercuts or left hooks or hot right hands, and oh fuck me, and then Yarde would knock him back into the corner with a straight right or a left hook, or the body work. I mean, he worked Beterbiev's body fantastically, and you think, oh shit, maybe Yarde's going to do it, and yeah, I mean, fuck me, I was just in awe the whole fight. I was just staring with my mouth open throughout the whole fucking fight. Both times I watched it. Fucking fantastic. Again, it's only early, again, in January, but that's fight of the year for me so far, and I can't see a lot topping it. It's got to be something fucking special to top that. But no, what a fucking good night of boxing. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I'm just lost for words, really. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, so the light heavyweight division is a very interesting division. Unfortunately, well, I say unfortunately, fortunately, you've got the two giants at the top, Beterbiev and Bivol. That's the fight we all want. And there are other guys, down below, but that is the fight we all want. I mean, Buatsi's decent enough. I don't think he's good enough to beat either of them. Smith, I love Callum Smith, but I don't think he's good enough to beat either of them. Different eras, perhaps he and Yarde would be the top guys, but not at the moment. So, yeah. I hope you all enjoyed it as well. What a fight. Absolutely brilliant. So, on to the next one. This one's going to live in my memory, especially for a long, long time. A very, very, very good fight. So, it's been a good weekend for me, actually, because as you all know, or you may know, I'm a big rugby union fan, and my beloved Northampton Saints won the derby with Leicester yesterday. So, only by a point, but fuck me, we'll take a win where we can at the moment. It's been a bit of a shitty season, so but there you go. Fantastic. So that's enough out of me. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take care, folks, and I'll speak to you soon.